As the year draws to a close, this week on Dateline Abuja, we take a look at the Abuja Master Plan again. How many people the nation's capital is supposed to cater for? And what's the plan for the population explosion we're already experiencing here? We drove around Abuja and its environs during the week to look at previous locations notorious for flooding, vandalism, and gully erosions. And as we do every week, we update you on the front burner issues from Nigeria's seat of power as we do our interview segments as well. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's begin with our Abuja wrap. Let's fill you in on the major stories from Nigeria's presidency this week.
Earlier in the week, President Bola Tinubu says his administration will always uphold media freedom and respect opinions, whether they are adversarial or complementary to his government. The president made the pledge on Monday in Abuja during a meeting with members of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria. President Tinubu assured the members that he will carefully consider their request for a review of policies affecting the paper industry, acknowledging concerns about existing regulations hindering local access to newsprint. He said his administration will remain steadfast in reinvigorating, retooling and re-engineering the economy, citing bold decisions by his administration to end the petrol subsidy regime and initiate the ongoing unification of foreign exchange rates. After that, President Bola Tinubu tasked the board of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited to immediately get to work, warning that non-performance will not be tolerated. He stated this when he inaugurated the board at the State House. President Tinubu said the corporate social responsibility for the Niger Delta must be taken seriously, considering the devastating effects of oil exploration and exploitation on the environment. After that, acting on the statement made by President Bola Tinubu to support the transformation of the MSME space in the country, the federal government, in collaboration with the Bank of Industry, is set to commence the distribution of loans worth 75 billion naira to micro, small and medium enterprises across the country. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on MSMEs and Job Creation, Temitola Adekunle Johnson, says the loans will be given to the beneficiaries at an interest rate of 9%. He says the loans will target mostly women and youth. The federal government announced a 50% special discount on road transport by luxury buses and zero fare by rail across Nigeria for the Yuletide celebrations. According to the Minister of Solid Minerals, Mr. Dele Alake, who briefed State House correspondents after a meeting with the President and other ministers, President Bola Tinubu approved the intervention in the spirit of Christmas and the end-of-year festivities to enable Nigerians travel without the extra burden imposed by the high cost of transport during this period. The special presidential intervention is to commence from Thursday, December 21 to January 4, 2024.
It is in this wise that the president is announcing through us that beginning from tomorrow, that's the 21st of December, Nigerians willing to travel can board public transport via minibuses, luxury buses, at 50% discount of current cost, and all our train services on the routes the trains currently serve at zero cost to and fro on their travels this holiday season.
And the Senate has granted the request by President Bola Tinubu to commence screening of the 11 newly appointed justices of the Supreme Court. The letter was read during plenary by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio.
Request for confirmation of the appointment by the Senate, the names of the underlisted 11 appointed justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. This is signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The leader of the Senate, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, has announced that there are no plans to increase the 2024 appropriation bill when it is eventually passed to the executive. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Channels Television, he affirms that the National Assembly might make further reductions on the budget based on its evaluation if it becomes necessary, but it is hoping to return the budget without any additions to the figures. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Appropriation has asked all standing committees to turn in their reports within the next 48 hours to enable the conclusion of the budgeting process.
We're doing everything possible to ensure that there is no increase our hope is to be able to return Mr. President's budget, in a way that if we have reasons to reduce, we reduce, but we don't intend to.
The Senate has announced plans to launch full investigation into the Nigerian Military Pensions Board after it resumes from recess. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, Senator Adeola Olamilekun, made the announcement during the defense of the budget report by the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service, where an additional 20 billion naira was requested for the construction of an office building for the Military Pensions Board, as well as the renovation of the 4 phases of the Federal Secretariat.
We felt that there is need for us to carry out a full-blown investigation on the Nigerian Military Pension Board, and that we will initiate as soon as when we return from our vacation, because there is urgent need for us. So much money is given to them, and we are having so much complaints.
A series of promotions have recently occurred in the Nigerian military. Notably, 47 brigadier generals have been advanced to the position of major generals in the Nigerian army, and 75 colonels have been elevated to the rank of brigadier generals. In the Nigeria Air Force, 22 individuals have been newly promoted to the position of Air Vice Marshals, while 16 others have been promoted to Air Commodores. In the Nigerian Navy, 28 Navy captains have been elevated to the rank of Commodore, and 30 Commodores have been promoted to the rank of Rear Admirals. During the decoration ceremony for the newly promoted officers of the Nigerian Navy, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu, the Chief of Naval Staff, congratulated the senior officers and their families. He urged them to recommit themselves to serving their country.
The determination of the men, the officers and ratings of the Nigerian Navy, we believe that will turn the tide against these people. And also, on the part of our personnel, we have been trying as much as possible to promote and to commend those who perform excellently in this fight. And for those who get compromised, we do not hesitate to bring them to the full extent of the law. This is what we have been doing in order to make sure that we sustain the gains that we have been making in the next year.
Welcome back. I have to say it. When we cried out here on Dateline Abuja, the FCT administration listened to a very large extent. And with a new minister on board, the work has started. But my fingers are still crossed. In 2024, we'll see if the expected heavy rains test the implementation of those mass demolitions of houses on floodplains, the reinforcements put in gullies, and the newly built bridges. This week, we took a ride around Abuja to see the places that are previously notorious for gully erosions and floods. Please watch this. This is Galadimawa, just 10 minutes away from Abuja city center. This area is notorious for heavy floods when it rains, and lives have been lost in this gully. The devastation was so notorious, the road was blocked after the last victim died in August of 2019. He and his car were swept away by the flood covering this very access road these cars are breaking the law by following. The flood in this area was attributed to houses built on floodplains in the neighboring districts, driving the floods to this area. There has been vigorous demolition exercises by the FCT authorities to ensure this road is not flooded anymore. Gully erosions are a result of the interaction of land use, climate and slope, and there are a lot of gullies in Abuja. This one near the major road in Gwarinpa district was particularly notorious in the past. These days, people drive along this road without fear, and the demolitions of buildings erected on floodplains in Gwarinpa has also helped stop the flooding on this road. This gully at the Gishiri area was also notorious back in the day. Reinforcements have been put in place to stop the erosion from taking over the road. This is Duse Sokale, 30 minutes away from Abuja city center. A few years ago, this portion of the road was broken in two, following a flood that aggravated this already existing gully erosion. The residents say the interventions from the local authorities are temporary. They're still afraid whenever it rains.
Because we can't presume, even the NAMIT or Natural Meteorological Agency, they have not given, for now, I don't know whether it may rain or, as we're experiencing it, little by little, whether it may come up or it may not come up. So for now, we don't know. But what we need to do now is that the government should come and intervene for the road, because like now we need culverts also so that this place can be okay. Even if they do not tie, at least it will be, they should tie it, they should put the gutter, then fix some stones or do it in such a way that the water can flow freely to the river so that they will not be flooding. Because this is what causes flooding, this dustbin and grasses and everything around here.
Still in Duse Sokale, this road is called the Olusegun Obasanjo Road as it leads to the Obasanjo farms behind these hills. The residents say living here has been horrendous. They are calling for help from the FCT authorities.
The erosion has been very bad during the rainy season. We don't even enjoy this place at all. Most cars, if they are climbing up, going up, coming down, the tire will start, the place is, yes, to start drawing them down. And it's very, very bad. Most times we have most people, like students, school buses, they don't even come to this side. When especially my son's school, if you call them, they'll tell you, take your son to the junction because the road here is very bad.
It's really an eyesore, and of course, every month we check our shocks. The road is very bad. Every time the rain falls, our heart beeps. So we plead on any agency, the government, well-meaning Nigerians, anyone that wants to help us, because we have enough populations there. It's over 3,000 houses in this part and the other part. So we are begging on anybody that wants to help us. They should come to our aid. This is Obasanjo Road farm, but the road has been deplorable situation for the past 5 years I parked in here, and we are pleading. Many people have fallen accidents. They have through bike, they fall. Children coming back from school, you see them falling on the bike. It's really affecting everybody.
The erosion here has been something else. For the past 3 years, it's been stories upon stories. For instance, we have had people come around here and they said, made a lot of promises. They want to do this, they want to do that. At the end of the day, you don't see anything coming forth. Then one thing I also noticed that anytime we have a problem around here, it's usually a very serious crisis for us. There was a time this bridge was totally cut off. People don't go out, people don't come in. So whatever the authority can do is going to go a long way to help.
I think we've been battling with that, and most of the time it has been mostly children, some females. Generally, we have had more like people falling, more people because of the road getting injured. Some have had to carry cast for a long period of time. Some have injuries or wounds they will have to nurse for life. So I don't know, if we can have something done about it, it will just be excellent for us as residents. We had to approach the local council area, and I think at some point in time when it was really that bad, they were able to at least do some what we call palliative measures for us. So, well, we are just managing and hoping that they will do better with what is on ground.
The topography of Abuja is undulating, with hills and icebergs that rise northwestward to a maximum of 1,060 meters above sea level. The challenges to the Abuja master plan has mostly been caused by the recalcitrance of developers, feeding on the greed of residents who circumvent the rules in the chase for cheaper options, especially when it comes to housing. The population explosion in Abuja has not helped either. Will these interventions hold sway when the heavy rains hit in August? Only time will tell. In the meantime, while the authorities do what they must to mitigate the environmental disasters in the FCT, it must note that as cities evolve, master plans must evolve as well.
My guest on the program is Engineer Ferdinand Ezonha, Director, Engineering Services of the Federal Capital Development Agency, FCDA. I tried to get to the end game of the Abuja Master Plan, or the construction going on in Abuja, what can be done about districts with almost zero infrastructure, and how the Master Plan can cater to the population explosion in the nation's capital. Mr. Ferdinand Ezonha, welcome again to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you, Megwa.
It's so good to see you again.
It's a pleasure seeing you too.
And you know, it's always interesting whenever we talk about infrastructure in the FCT.
Yes.
The year is coming to an end. We have a new minister. There's so much work that's been done, especially in your office.
Yes.
So we decided to go back to a few of the places in the FCT that we know need infrastructure. Duse Sokale, Galadimawa, all those areas. Talk to us a bit about some of the work that has been done this year in the FCT.
Well, a lot has been done. Since the minister came, at least you can see that the whole city is agog with a lot of construction activities. Take, for example, the road by office here, the Outer Southern Expressway. That's the road, we call it O61, because the Outer Southern Expressway itself is about 67-kilometer road from Villa Roundabout
to Villa
down to Gwagwalada, that Lokoja, Abuja, Kaduna Road. You know, after the GSS, there's a bridge there constructed by Federal Ministry of Works.
This road is all the way
there? Yeah, it's all the way there. But we are constructed them in phases.
Okay, because the phase that I know that is on right now is between Apo Roundabout and the Villa Roundabout.
You know, you could see that before the minister came, job was going on there quite all right, but the tempo was very low. Very, very low. But now it's one of the projects he has prioritized to complete and roll out. That project, I will tell you that it involves rehabilitation of the old carriageway. It's a 10-lane road, just like the Airport Expressway and the Kubwa Expressway. It's a 10-lane road with 2 main carriageways and the service carriageways. Initially, we only had the left-hand side, the main carriageway and the service carriageway existing. Now we are expanding it to 10 lanes completely, adding another main carriageway and service carriageway, and then rehabilitating the old one. So the program is to complete that project at least 90%, up to 90% by May. Yeah, within the phase of Mr. President, in line with his renewed hope agenda. So the only outstanding work that will be on that road will be 2 interchanges, but the part of the construction is 4 interchanges. It's a 6.5-kilometer road with 4 interchanges. When I mean interchanges, what we call flyover. There's one at Yakubu Gowon Crescent. There's another one by Seun Shagari Way. There's another by Mohammed Buhari, just opposite Dantata. And the 4th one is the Apple. You could see that Apple interchange is virtually completed. Yeah. Likewise, the one at Mohammed Buhari, the 2nd one, is nearing.
That's the one opposite Dantata.
Opposite Dantata is nearing completion. Then the one that will be outstanding is the one at Seun Shagari Junction. That's the one that goes to the Federal Secretariat, and the last one at Yakubu Gowon Crescent. These are the only 2 that will be outstanding. That road will be completed to allies even with the street lighting facilities, except these 2. And the pedestrian bridges on that will equally be completed because it's one of the roads he has prioritized to complete.
Okay. So which other road are we looking at again?
We are equally looking at the ISEX, the Inner Southern Expressway. That one is the Good Luck Ebele Jonathan Way. Remember, that job has been going on all this while. From if you are coming into the city from AYA and you get to this O6, there's an interchange there, then down to the CBN. That's Good Luck Ebele Jonathan Way. So it's roughly about 4.5-kilometer road. So the road will be completed by the end of January 2024. Because right now, if you go on that road in the night, you see the street lighting have come up. What the only remaining work is all to do the wiring course on the right-hand side carriageway. It's equally a 10-lane road. And we have done, the contractor has finished the wiring course on the left-hand side, and then it's on the right-hand side, doing the wiring course on the main carriage and the service carriageway. So it will equally be completed before May. With that one, we have assurance that by January, the work will be completed. And these contractors are being paid, nobody is being owed. That's the beauty of the whole thing. The next one is what we call BCB, the one within the Constitutional Avenue and the Independence Avenue. The B6 is the Constitutional Avenue. That's the one that passes, the B6 is already complete, it's moved on dual carriageway. The B12, the one they are working on now, is the one that passes the American and Russian embassy. So, it has not been dualized. It's supposed to be a dual mode operation. Now, only one mode is, and that's why most times you have that backlog of traffic in the morning and evening as you're entering the city from the airport, around the city gate, the old city gate. So by the time it is dualized, the B12, all those traffic will be free. So from that point, from that city gate down to Seku Road, they are working on the 2nd lane now. And I assure you, with all things being equal, And with the financing that we are getting, the contractor has given us assurance that the road will be completed by May.
I know you don't want to talk about demolitions, because that's not under your purview, but what usually happens is a place is demolished and people want to be able to see that this place is being reused for something else. I'll give you an example. There's a market in Durumi that was demolished. The market is still there.
It's part of our church. Just by you are talking about the one behind the
Federal Secretariat. Yes,
behind
it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there, even though we're told that the reason why this market was demolished is because this place is supposed to be a floodplain, and we could see all the way in there that yes, this place is actually a floodplain.
Yeah.
But you demolish, and then the places are still there.
You see, this is part of the challenge. You understand? We have in the city.
No,
because
the challenge in the sense that it's not being reused. If the place is fallow, people are going to go and use it again.
When the funds are not so much available, you understand? And that the area you are talking about, some parts of that area, some parts of it will be used as parking space for the Federal Secretariat.
Oh yes,
you understand?
Because Federal Secretariat, old Federal Secretariat has a parking problem.
Has a parking problem. So if the work has not been procured as at the time, there's a process, and even the process of procurement and all this kind of stuff. So if it's taking time, definitely these people will come back. But we ask them, you know that you are illegally staying in a place. If it is demolished, why go back there? Because definitely the authorities will come back to demolish it. It doesn't help anybody. That place, as you mentioned, is a floodplain. So why go back there? It doesn't make sense. You understand? Even if the place had not been taken over by the authority, but we're equally trying to save life by doing that. Because some people sleep there, some people live there. Assuming they are flooding in the night. Just like what happened in the city some time past in Lokogoma. So what happens? So the mere fact that the authority has not come back, the administration has not come back to immediately take over the place does not give you the latitude to go back there. It doesn't make sense as far as I'm concerned. By January, we are flagging off another set of another set of roads in Maitama and some other areas in the city for resurfacing, about 21 lots. So a lot of construction resurfacing works will be going on equally. And this resurfacing works, some of them our target is to have them completed by May. That's the truth.
So May is our month.
Yeah, May is actually at least in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, so that his first tenure in the office, first year, they were able to say, Mr. President did this. This is under the leadership of the FCDA of Mr. Quality Projects, our dear minister.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Ferdinand for being with us on Dateline Abuja, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to my guest, Ferdinand and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. The current metro area population of Abuja in 2023 is 3.83 million people. An increase from the 2022 figure, which was 3.65 million. And at the time, that was a 5.43% increase from the figure of 2021. And that's just the metro area. The United Nations estimates that in 2032, that figure should hit 5.5 million people. Listening to my guest, I get the feeling that the planning for the nation's capital is one that should continue to evolve. Bearing this in mind, the FCT administration led by His Excellency Nyesom Wike must bear this in mind and provide the necessary political will to ensure we have the Abuja of our dreams. That's Dateline Abuja this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Magwa. See you next time.